Galaxy A55, well, it's quite good. Its new design feels very pro, the performance has improved significantly, and in everything else, it remains well balanced. Even though this phone was not launched officially in the US, you can actually get it for around $400, and for this price, it's a great deal. Let me explain why. When you look at the A54 and compare it with the A55, you will notice many differences. We still have the same sensor for its cameras, with the same in-screen fingerprint reader, its battery has remained at 5000 mAh with only 25-watt fast charging. We also have IP67 water resistant, and its AMOLED screen is a little bit bigger, but it doesn't bring any novelty to the table. It's quite a bad evolution when you compare it to the A54 in such a way that there's only two aspects where you can see a real change. The first and least important is in the material and design of its new aluminum edges, which look and feel much better than before, especially on the right side with these edges a bit more rounded towards the buttons. Although for this price they could have done something about these huge bezels, especially when other brands like Xiaomi are launching cheap phones with curved screens. Now, the second change is much more important because it relates to the performance. In this table, you can see the performance difference in several benchmarks versus the A54. So yeah, there's a substantial improvement. Although, when we compare with other mid-range phones of the moment, it has no apparent advantage. It's okay, it's average. In my other speed test, opening and closing apps in 2 rounds, you can see how it achieves a much better results than the Galaxy A54, better than the Redmi, and even similar to the Nothing phone or the Galaxy S23 FE. You may be a little bit confused right now because you don't know if these are good or bad results, so let me put it clearly for you. These are excellent results. Since the Galaxy A52s, that Samsung has been below other mid-range phones, but with this, they have finally reached an acceptable performance. Not only due to its processor, but also to the new UFS 3.1 memory. And just look at this, it also doesn't suffer throttling, which will allow you to maintain the same performance in game for a long period of time. And look, this doesn't mean you should buy this for gaming. It just means that if you push it too much, it won't get worse over time. Because if you really want a mid-range phone for gaming, you should go for the Poco X6 Pro. Another positive aspect of this processor is Samsung optimization, since not only does everything feels very fluid when using it for anything, but the battery life is impeccable. When Samsung releases a bad phone, I will always say it, but when they do something good, like with the Galaxy A55, I will also have to say it. I know I shouldn't be surprised by this because this performance, it's nothing crazy. The Poco X6 Pro is even better and it's even cheaper too, but Samsung give us a very balanced phone, and after so many years with the A53 and the A54, you know, this really feels like the evolution of the A52s that was the last Galaxy A series with a Snapdragon processor. Anyway, as for the cameras, well, they're identical to the ones on the A54. I haven't taken many photos and videos yet with this camera, but the ones I've taken, I've liked quite a lot. I'm preparing a comparison versus the Redmi and the Nothing phone, and so far, in terms of results, I see this camera as one of the best in the mid-range, which is no surprise knowing the A54. As for video, there's no significant change either. We continue with the maximum recording resolution of 4K at 30 frames per second, which can be a limitation for some people, but its stabilization is very good, as well as the quality that we get with this sensor. Not to mention that with the front-facing camera, you're also able to record in 4K, which for social media, it actually makes it one of the best ones that you can get. The Galaxy A55 doesn't bring anything new to the table, but it's a decent choice for anyone that is looking for a well-rounded device. A few days ago, I reviewed this Redmi from Xiaomi, and I have to say that I love everything about this phone, which for $400, it's a great deal too, but after trying the Galaxy, you know, which targets the same audience that with a limited budget that wants, you know, a well-balanced phone, I have to say that if I had to choose one of the two, I would go for the Samsung. Yes, it has huge and ugly bezels, a slow charging speed, but besides that, I do think that it's the real evolution of the Galaxy A52s. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and if you have a different one, you can leave it in the comments. I see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!